Alright everybody, thanks for watching today. Well, yesterday I did an oil change on this Expedition and some of the video clip got lost. So I'm going to show you what we got to work with here. It's going to be a quick, simple, easy oil change video on how you need to do it, or how to do it rather, on these 5.4 Triton Ford motors. It's probably one of the easiest oil changes I've ever done. Let me show you what we got. Alright, here's the Expedition. It's 07 model Eddie Bauer. Like I said, it's got a 5.4 liter Triton V8, and it's probably one of the easiest oil changes you'll ever do. If you've never done one before, I'm going to show you everything you need to know right now. Alright, now like I was saying, on these Expeditions, any vehicle, before you get underneath it to do your oil change, first you want to pop your hood, pull your oil cap off on your motor, and then you want to get, if you're small, squeeze up underneath it, and then go for it, but don't risk getting stuck. You want to get it securely either on ramps or jack stands, and when you have it up in the air, make sure you lock your parking brake so it doesn't roll back, anything like that. Make sure it's secure before you get underneath it, and have a phone nearby, or even better, someone else around. Don't get underneath the vehicle on jack stands or on a ramp unless you've got someone nearby, just in case, because emergencies can happen, and we don't need it to be the end of you, you know what I mean? So we're gonna get it set up, and then we'll get underneath there and we'll get started. All right, we're in here underneath. It's hard to see. You got your oil plug way back here at the back. 5/8 socket, you'll bust that loose. And then back up here towards the front of the engine. Let me see if I can find it again now. Right here at the front, on the driver's side, right below the fan shroud and everything like that, is your filter. It's even got a little drain spout right here. Only gonna do one at a time. That way I don't get oil all over everything. Make sure you got your oil pan underneath here and got it ready. So I'm gonna pop this loose and be right back. All right, I got the plug out, as you can see. We're gonna let it drip for just a few minutes. Make sure you got, you know, rags on hand, things like that, because you're gonna get a little bit oily and dirty when you do this. But these trucks are probably one of the easiest trucks, or easiest Fords for that matter, that I've ever had to change oil on. Everything's actually easy to get to. So I'm gonna put this plug in, then I'm gonna get in there and get that filter off. We'll make sure you snug the plug up, but you don't over tighten it. Don't use torque wrench, just use a ratchet, or even better, use a wrench. And like I said, I believe it was a 5/8 is what size the drain plug is on this, but yours could be different depending on if it's been replaced or anything like that. So I can't 100% guarantee you plug size. I'll be right back. Alright, I got the oil plug back in. We got it tight, and then a little quarter turn past tight. Now after you get anything done, you want to make sure you wipe it down good. No drips, no leaks on anything. Now we're going to move up here to the oil filter. And again, let me get in position. I can show you just how easy that is to access. Literally the front of the vehicle, right below the fan shroud. You got this little spout right here. You'll drain it and it'll run right down that spout. Alright, let me get in there, see if I can get this thing. Feels like it got a little bit of oil on it. Alright, I might change hands. I'll be right back. I got it broke loose and I ended up having to use a pair of damn crescent wrench, or adjustable pliers rather, channel locks, to get it loose. Now when you break it loose, you gotta watch out, because this hole right here, it will drain straight down there first. And then as you pull it off, it may leak down that ramp too. But it's got a perfect hole right here for it to drain out of. Now you want to make sure too, before you put a new filter on. Hang on, let me get some light in there. Alright. Tell me if you see the problem. That rubber gasket. Now make sure
change the oil, take that rubber gasket off. Be surprised when I work the oil change, doing oil changes and stuff like that, dealerships, Walmart, service stations, things like that, how many times somebody would leave that on and then come in because they had an oil leak. I've seen it quite a bit, actually. So you'll make sure you get that off, and you want to clean that up real good. That surface, just kind of wipe it down with a good clean rag. Give me a second. Alright, I got it wiped down. Now, the oil filter that I use is a Fram Extra Guard PH2 for these. So I'm going to take the new filter, which I got right here. I can get it open one-handed. I'm going to take it, make sure it's got the rubber gasket. I have seen them, but it didn't have the gasket. Take a dab of the old oil. Make sure you ain't got no grit or dirt in it, you know. And just coat that ring. That rubber gasket. Since this filter sits sideways, I'm not going to pre-fill it. Now, the filters that are up, straight up and down, like this, I'll pre-fill. But this one right here, there ain't no point in wasting the oil. So just stick it in there. Spin it on. Hand tight and a quarter turn more. You don't want to over tighten it. That's good right there. Alright, next we're going to go up top, put oil in it. Give me just a minute. The oil I'm going to be putting in here is going to be this Valvoline high mileage synthetic blend 5W20. Now on older vehicles that you've never used synthetic or synthetic blend oil on, I don't suggest doing it. Because synthetic blend to me, like I said, I've worked in a lot of shops. When you put them in these older vehicles that have never had it before, synthetic blend or synthetic oil has got such fine particles, I guess you want to say, to it. It's so fine that if you ain't got a leak somewhere, you're going to find one. That's what happened when I did the video about these valve covers. I put a synthetic blend oil in there, and anywhere that would leak started leaking. And like I said in that other video, I've had that issue working in dealerships, quick service, quick lube services, things like that. Seen a lot of cars come in that had that issue. Now, I've already run I run a high mileage oil synthetic blend through this before. It was a 10,000 mile oil. Now, the oil that came out, it wasn't horrible, but I don't really like going that long between oil change intervals. So I'm going to run this, and I'm going to see what the recommended time frame on this is. Probably 3,000 mile. I don't see anywhere where it says anything else as far as motor oil intervals. But I'm going to run this time. And like I said, this 5.4 Triton and this 07 Expedition here takes 6.6 quarts of oil. So I got a 5-gallon jug and 2 1 gallons. So I'm going to find my funnel. I'm going to start with the small ones first, and then we'll do the big one. When I get it started, it'll let you know what's going on. Alright, I got the oil is right in here. That's about all I got left. About 6.5 quarts or so in this truck. I'll let it drain down at the funnel a little bit. Now, the reason I said I'm using 5W20, because a lot of vehicles are oil specific. They're built that way. Ford usually calls for 5W20 in their vehicles. Now, this truck ain't under warranty. I don't have too much to worry about, anything like that. But working for one of the dealerships, I actually saw a man get a, at the time, new Corvette that he paid cash money for at 10,000 miles, ruin his engine and void his warranty because he didn't put the recommended oil in his engine the last time he did an oil change. So, a lot of these vehicles, you know, they're real specific, and your warranties are specific on what oils they want you to run and things like that. So on something like this, I would go with the manufacturer's recommended. Like Ford, they recommend Motorcraft 5W20, things like that. When I got my oil, Motorcraft wasn't available for this. Valvoline to me is a good oil. I've run the Walmart brand oil. I'll run Walmart brand oil before I'd run some Quaker Stuck. I've tore engines apart that had Quaker Stuck in them, and it ain't pretty. But after you get your oil in, everything like that, your next step is you don't want to check it while it's up on ramps. You want to get it down. You want to get it on a flat level surface. You want to let it run for a minute. Let the oil circulate, then you want to check it. But before you do that, before you back it down, you want to make sure oil cap's tight. Nothing's in the way. You want to give it a crank. You want to check for leaks at the oil filter and the oil plug. So give me a second. We're going to get this girl cranked up and we're going to check for leaks. All right, let's go under and see how we did. Plug's tight, filter's tight. I don't see any leaks. I just got some drips from earlier. Filter looks good. I'll run my hand around it. No leaks on the filter. No leaks on the plug. All right, and we're gonna move everything out the way. We're gonna back it down, and then we'll check our oil levels, and then we'll top it off if we need to. All right, something else you want to check, you want to make sure your oil pressure comes up too after you do your oil change. Now, I got my park brake on. I got a TPMS sensor light. One of them tire shops messed up one of my TPMS sensors. Now, I'm gonna show you how to reset your oil light too. On these Expeditions here, you're gonna hit, let me see what it was, setup right here on mine. Setup, they'll give you these options. Reset for system check. You hit reset. Oil change required. Charging system's okay. Washer fluid's okay. Doors are closed. It tells me my back glass is open. It tells me everything's good. Tire pressure sensor fault. See, there's my tire pressure, my oil light. So what you'll do is you'll hit system, press reset to clear. Reset to clear, system, oil off 0%. And then you'll hold, like it said, system, reset, oil off set to 100. And that's all it takes on some of these Ford's Expeditions that got the setup like this. Now my oil pressure looks good. I didn't have any leaks, anything like that. So I'm gonna back down off these ramps, then we'll pull it up and we'll check the oil level. Give me just a second. I'll get this park brake. We'll get all this set. All right, now I'll let it sit here for a little bit longer. I'm gonna let it see what it says now. I don't know why, but Fords always seem to show when they're full about a half quart low. Let me get this wiped down and see if I can't get a better view of it. Hang on. All right. You can see right there, I don't know why, every Ford I've ever had, every Ford I've ever worked on, even for the dealerships, things like that, they always say they read about a half quart low when they're full. Don't know why they do that, but I'm going to leave it like it is, and I'm going to keep the last half quart put up. Alright, now that's pretty much everything you need to do when you're doing an oil change on these things. Of course, you want to make sure you get out here. If you got concrete slab, dirt, shop, whatever, make sure you get the oil cleaned up before your wife gets home and sees it. But that's pretty much it on these oil changes. Like I said, it's quick, it's easy, don't take long at all to do. Plus, I showed you how to reset your check engine light, or I'm sorry, your oil light. And earlier I said I used 5 gallons and 2 1-gallon jugs. I meant quarts. My mom was running a mile a minute yesterday when I was doing all this. But anyway, I appreciate you watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Maybe this will help you out if you've never done your oil change on one of these before. You know, a lot of people go to YouTube to learn, and that's what I'm hoping I can help someone do. Anyway, thank you. Have a good day.